Okay, so now I've got both sides loose here. Once you get it about this far apart, the rest usually comes off pretty easy. Um, the so basically, I'm just going to slide it off here. Just slide it off, yeah. One, two. Okay. So as I said, you don't want to mix these up, but you really shouldn't be able to mix up the brush sections with the axles, because this axle is a square. Square, you can probably see it's four-sided there. And then the other axle is a hex, so it's five-sided. Okay. And same thing on the brush. That one is square, and that one is a hex. So at this point, unless you force things, you still can't mess up which direction they go. This is what I'm requesting to bring back in if you want me to rebuild it or check it out or whatever. All the components that can need repair or something are in this situation here. So all the rest of those brushes just cause freight and space in a box. Okay, so as we're looking at this, if you try and spin one or both of the axles, nothing spins right on this one. Sometimes one side will spin, but the other won't. What should happen is when I spin this, they both should spin. Or when I spin this, they both should spin. Sometimes it's a little difficult if the gears are tight, but generally it's not hard at all to spin them. So to go ahead and do the repair, I'm going to need a few things here. Don't need the screwdriver anymore. Mainly, I need a good pair of C-clip removers. Basically, you want internal, and I find the easiest is a 90-degree internal 9-inch C-clip remover, because this C-clip is pretty stout. Then a 30mm wrench. You can try and use a crescent wrench, but it's a fairly small surface. You're going to be using it on here. So just kind of trying not to strip it out. So basically, and then some dental pick type tools are nice to clean out any sort of contaminants in the holes, or if a gear is broken up. And then usually a air compressor is nice to have as well, so you can blow out everything and just kind of make sure everything's nice and clean. That isn't as necessary. I mean, this can easily be done on the back of a truck with these tools. As far as the components inside here, we'll get to that in a moment, but basically you have a gear set, and this is typically what you would want to buy to repair this whole unit. This gear, but you can buy individual components and there's a decent amount of them. We'll kind of look at it as we go on here. And so, but you really need to know what you're looking at as far as wear points, because if you put it in here and there's any sort of nicking or type any sort, even anyways, at high speed, that becomes an issue. So to completely rebuild the brush, besides the gear set, you would need bearings, and there are 10 of them in this. These bearings actually sit inside here, 5 of them on each side. And then this is a water seal to protect those bearings, and it goes right in the front of the bearings. before you get to the gears. So this gear set is all in there. And then, of course, the axles themselves. And actually, these are AL3 axles. This is the brand new version of the gear set. And I'll show you the difference between the AL2 and the AL3. This was the part of the gear set that usually breaks up if something was going to happen to it. And so they decided to go ahead and make this all one piece instead of individual components. And this could be retrofitted with these AL3 axles just by replacing the axle and not using the components that this takes place of. And so basically what we're going to do here is going to take our C-clip pliers and put it inside these holes of the C-clip here. And take off the C-clip. And since I've got the C-clip, I'm going to go ahead and do both sides. Okay, that's the C-clip plier. And now, so basically, I'm going to get it on that hex. Oh boy, usually it's a little tough to get off, but that one was really loose. It really shouldn't be, but I don't know if someone's been in here or something else happened. Oh boy, there's something really messed up inside this one. So I'm just going to set that down right there. And so as you pull this apart, look for, whoa, what is that? Pay attention to how it comes apart. There's a lot of little pieces in here. And so I'm going to flip this around and take off the other axle. So that one was more like they normally are. And much easier to come out too. Not sure what happened to that. Alright, so now I've pulled this whole thing out. There's absolutely, well, there's pieces in there, but you'll see that there's nothing actually in the gear housing itself. This is just a cover basically. You'll see if you take a good look inside, right where this bump is, if you follow it along, there's a hole inside. That's where the jet comes. And that's kind of important because you'll want to know where that jet is when you put all this back together, because this turbine is, oh geez, it's usually not that hard to get out. Something really happened here. All right, so this turbine is directional. So you see that it has hooks basically on it there. And you're going to want to put this in so that the hooks catch this jet here. So it's going to go in this direction when I put it in. That's the only thing that really has directional inside here. There's some other tricks of alignment on stuff. But that's pretty much all the direction. All right, so I'm going to just put that to the side for a moment. I'm going to clean that out good before I put things back together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take out, oh boy, usually this is not like this. Usually it's nice and smooth coming out. So I'm just going to take it out piece by piece. There's a little gear there. That's probably one of the things jamming it up. Oh, and we're down to the piece. And this is actually the piece that gets replaced by that axle if I put that axle in here. So on the AL2, I'll put the new one there so you can see what it looks like. But on the AL2, you have this, and the L3 is going to replace it like that. So basically it gets rid of this one piece, and like I said, it is probably the most common failure point in here. You know, that comes apart like that. Gonna look at all that in a little while, see if these are any good still. Just a quick glance at them. Everything looks okay on them, but sometimes teeth are missing because the broken pieces came up and damaged them. Just a quick look at them, and everything looks pretty good. We'll get into that. Like I said, we'll get into that more. And I'm probably going to put a whole new kit in this one and send the customer back the pieces that I still think are good in case, as backup if something goes down in the middle of a job or something like that. But so the outer rings, these are the outer rings here, are inside, and they're kind of fun to get in and out, but like I said, I'm going to go ahead and replace the whole kit here. These are what need to be aligned, and I'll show you how to align them in a little bit. If you weren't taking them out, which I would have to say most of the time you don't need to, as long as you make sure you get all the gear pieces out and you don't see any broken teeth, which I see a broken tooth right now. So I'm probably going to throw that one away. And might as well just go ahead and take these out. So basically, to take these out, you usually can do it by hand and just kind of like go side to side like I was there. And I try and keep everything lined up of where it went. And obviously don't get into the new stuff until I'm ready for it. If it's a little too stubborn for your hands, these pliers actually work pretty good at, if you just hold them like that and kind of, doing the same kind of thing I was doing with my hands. That gives you a little bit more pulling force. So that's another potential. Number 2, and there are 3 of them in here. So